Hi, I'm Supervisor Don Knabe. I'm pleased to welcome you back to another episode of Dialed In. Los Angeles County is home to more than 2 million children who are enrolled in schools from kindergarten through high school, spread out across 88 cities and over 140 unincorporated areas. Our kids are enrolled in 80 school districts served by the Los Angeles County Office of Education. Every year, our Office of Education reviews over $22 billion in annual budgets for every school in the county. The Office of Education also operates schools in our county's juvenile camps and halls, providing education to over 1,800 young offenders each and every day. As the ultimate safety net, it is Los Angeles County's responsibility to ensure that every student has the opportunity to learn in a classroom environment, no matter what their situation. The relationships between our elementary schools, our high schools, and local universities are now more important than ever. We need to ensure we are doing everything we can to set up our youth for success in the future. This month, I'm pleased to be joined by the superintendent of our Office of Education, as well as the new president of California State University, Long Beach. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back to Dial In. My first guest today is Dr. Arturo Delgado, Los Angeles County Superintendent of Schools. Dr. Delgado has served as our superintendent since 2011. He and his staff are responsible for ensuring the financial and academic stability of 80 K-12 school districts. Welcome to the show, Dr. Delgado.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thank you.
80 school districts. How many schools is that?
Well, it's over 2,000 schools. It's 2,300 schools, and the exact number I couldn't tell you at last count. But
so over 2,300 schools is in your bailiwick.
Yes.
And, you know, everybody. Recently we've heard a lot about the Los Angeles Unified School District. A few iPad issues. The superintendent resigning. So can you sort of tell everyone how your office works? You know, everyone talks about LA Unified because it's the big bad daddy. We got 2,800 schools. You got great responsibility. Sort of share with us how the office works.
Well, the Los Angeles County Office of Education actually services about 2 million students. So although LAUSD is our largest school district, there are about 650,000 of those 2 million kids. So we still have a lot of kids in this county that we have to support. And the Los Angeles County office is actually the largest county office in the country. And we do oversee those 80 school districts, and we provide a number of services to those school districts in support of their programs. But by and large, we are the accountability arm for the state to ensure that their budgets are functioning properly, that they're viable, that their facilities are good, that their credentialing is correct. So we oversee all of those programs for all 80 school districts.
So on the financial piece, I don't think a lot of people, each school district has to have their budgets approved by the Office of Education in Los Angeles County. Is that correct?
That's correct. AB 1200 a few years back said that we needed to make sure that every district was going to have a budget that was viable for at least 3 years. So that's what we have to do. We approve that every year for every school district.
Wow. So the Office of Education, overseen by a Board of Education, overseen by a superintendent.
Yeah.
It's sort of unique. There's an old law someplace way back because I was sort of amazed years ago when I found out all about. We appoint you, the Board of Supervisors appoint the superintendent. We appoint the members of the Board of Education. And at that point, our authority pretty much stops. Correct?
Well, it is correct. It is the most unique position in the state. Many people will ask me, who is it that I answer to? And I say I answer to kids. And if I keep it straight that way, I think we can get a lot done. But it's really not a bad situation. The Board of Supervisors do appoint the Board of Education with whom I work with every week. And their job is to approve the budget that I present to them. But because, as you well know, your supervisory areas are impacted greatly by what happens with their schools there.
Absolutely.
So I find it really important to be able to share with the supervisors all of them to let them know what's going on and see how it's going.
Don't you also have sort of a wing of all that involves special education throughout the county?
We have a number of other programs besides the services that we provide for school districts. We provide a special education service, as you just mentioned, but we also have the largest Head Start grant in the country. And so we provide Head Start program in preschool for a good number of kids, about 21,000 students, 21,000 children. And,
in the Head Start program?
In the Head Start program, yes.
Maybe you can explain to our viewers what exactly Head Start used to be in the news a lot. It's not so much anymore, but what an important piece of the educational opportunities for the underserved populations.
Well, it's growing. The interest nationally is growing to service our preschoolers, kids actually from birth to K. And so we provide services through various agencies throughout the county. We receive a grant, a federal grant, and then we distribute those monies to various agencies who will provide services to anything to pregnant mothers, to children ages 1 through 5, and preparing them for entering kindergarten and getting them ready for school. And it's a great program, and I think the interest is growing, and it's going to grow.
And it includes a food piece of that too, right?
Well, it's not just food, but yes, you're right.
I mean the educational piece, but I mean it's sort of an all-encompassing kind of a program.
It is. It's a one-stop shop type of a situation. Kids get food, but they also get health services, and they get counseling, and there's a number of other services they get with it.
And on the special education, that's just operating the special education programs throughout the various school districts?
That's right. It's based on school districts actually contracting with our county offices to provide specialized services for severely handicapped children. So we do a great deal of that throughout the county.
Now, do you have any relationships with private schools or charter schools?
Not with private, not so much with private, but charter schools, they're a bigger part of what we do in the Los Angeles County Office of Education. We're an authorizer for charter schools, so we do authorize charters.
So you have to approve it?
We have to approve charters. If a charter school tries to become authorized with another school district within the county, and they don't get approved, our school board of education, they adjudicate whether they agree with the district that didn't charter them, or whether they're going to overturn that. So our Board of Education has that ability to authorize charters throughout the county.
It's very political at times. That's when our phones start ringing.
It could be. It could be.
What about curriculums? I mean, do you have any impact on the day-to-day curriculums of the various schools or the charter schools, or what's your relationship as the Office of Education throughout the county and the 80 school districts with the curriculum?
Well, each district is autonomous. They can decide how they implement their curriculum. However, the state of California has authorized a particular approval of curriculum, and that's where the county office steps in. We provide the training for it. We provide all of the services that every district needs to implement successfully any new curriculum that is standardized by the state.
And don't you have, I think, another piece of this, your operation, you have a credentialing program for teachers as well, correct?
We do. And that's growing, by the way. The county office does provide a credentialing program, especially for teachers who are starting out and they're beginning teachers, and they need to have a second tier to their credential. We provide the training for that, and we provide credentials there, and we also provide credentials for career tech education services, and also for administrative credentials.
Obviously an important piece to the Board of Supervisors and to the county. We are the ultimate safety net for those in need. A very important part of your operation is the education opportunities that we try to, that very captive audience that we have inside our camps and juvenile halls. Maybe you can explain, if you would, just take some time and talk about what the kind of services you provide inside our juvenile halls and juvenile camps.
That has been a real challenge for us because I don't think there was a lot of attention being paid to the kids that are in our camps. We have to provide a regular comprehensive high school program for those kids while they're incarcerated. And we stepped into a situation where there really wasn't a lot of attention being paid to that. So we've brought in some new programs for them. Kids have responded very well to them. We've provided credit recovery programs for them. We have more kids getting their diplomas and GEDs through our programs now. We have a CTE program, or what we call Career Tech Education program for them now, where we have culinary arts. We have fashion design for the young ladies that are in our care, and as well as construction. So it's a growing program. We're very proud of it.
Well, all I can say has been an incredible turnaround since you've arrived here in Los Angeles County. As you know, as you said early on, that was a major problem. I mean, education being passed off as a videotape or something like that. Now we have real teachers teaching kids, and I think the response has been accordingly as it relates to kids wanting to further their education or get some credits back. What are you doing to sort of bring more technology to the classrooms?
Well, we provide a lot of online training, number one, for school districts so that they can have access to training in that manner. But as far as the online technology for school districts, we provide guidance for E-rate monies that districts can have access to. We provide training for any specialized type of equipment that districts are requesting from us in terms of training is concerned. But we're moving more online for school districts, and that seems to be our biggest role right now.
What about the trade tech opportunities? There's been a lot of articles recently about matching up education to trade tech or matching up education to blue-collar jobs. Not everybody wants to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Well, we provide funds, number one. We have been for years through the regional occupational programs. And
so the ROPs come under you too?
The ROPs have come under us in the past. That program is phasing out. Each district now is going to be getting their own career tech education funding. And so our role is going to be in support as opposed to actually implementing those programs.
So the ROPs will be under a school district?
A school district. And they won't be called ROPs anymore, because that money's gone away when they did away with categorical programs. So they'll be their career tech programs now.
And that's what they're going to call them?
And that's what they're going to call them. We'll provide training to teachers. We'll still provide credentialing for specialized teachers that they need, and any support that districts will need from us, but they'll have to contract back with us using their career tech money.
What do you see as the future of early childhood education, preschool, those kinds of things here in the county? What impact or role are you playing or can play?
Well, we see it growing. We see some real interest on the federal level to provide more funding, but even here in California, even though the governor began a little late on understanding and supporting it, I think he's coming around, and actually we're beginning to see more and more programs, greater services to younger families and younger mothers and mothers who need help and counseling and how to raise children. And so we have partnerships forming all the time through the First Five Los Angeles efforts that we are part of.
Are you part of the LA Up program then too?
We're part of the LA Up program. We're part of the First Five program.
Very good.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Arturo Delgado, Superintendent of the Los Angeles County Office of Education, here today. We thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
When Connie Andrews got married, her maid of honor, Caitlin, made some unauthorized alterations to her dress, and Connie realized Caitlin was not her friend. When Connie got Satellite, she joined the millions who don't get true on-demand, and she realized Satellite was not her friend. Now Connie has Charter, with over 10,000 titles, many free. It's the on-demand she always wanted. Take it from Connie. Satellite is not your friend. Watch over 10,000 titles on demand with Charter.
Hi, welcome back to Dial In. My next guest is the new president of California State University, Long Beach, Dr. Jane Connolly. President Connolly took office at Long Beach State on July 15th and is the first woman to be appointed the president in the school's 65-year history. Before joining the Beach, President Connolly served as Dean of Graduate School of Education at the University of California, Santa Barbara. President Connolly, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure, of course, Supervisor.
3 months on the job. How is it?
Exactly. Well, I'm having a blast. You know, the Beach, as you mentioned, is a wonderful university filled with these probably unknown gems in terms of our science, our engineering, our art museum. The students are fabulous. We have our second highest enrollment ever, over 37,000 students at the Beach right now.
Wow. So the transfer from being the dean of the Graduate School of Education, UC Santa Barbara, which is not a bad-looking campus either.
Not a bad-looking campus.
You've come to the beach, and how's that transition been?
The transition's been great. I was eased into it a bit because I did spend about 9 months as the interim chancellor at UC Riverside while we were searching for a new chancellor there. So that 9 months gave me a little on-the-job training for the kind of schedule that the president is expected to keep. One that would be well known to you.
Yeah,
as a matter
right.
of fact,
But I mean,
yeah.
I always amazed, Bob Maxon or
Yeah.
the others, and you know, they don't get off campus very much.
No.
If you got the president of Long Beach State to come to an event off campus, it was a big thing.
It was a
because
big thing.
You have so many. I always, when I drive by, because my kids live, I drive by and I see all these things coming up on the schedule that you've got going. I keep thinking, oh, President Connolly's got something else to go to tonight.
There's a lot going on, and each thing is so really interesting to me. Yesterday, I learned, for example, that our moot court team is ranked 3rd in the nation.
Wow.
Who knew?
Who knew?
And they travel all over the United States. They scrimmage. They have regionals. They have nationals. And many of them go on to law school, very prestigious law schools here in California, and Yale, Northwestern. So here's a group of about 20 students involved in something that really brings great distinction to the
school.
university. Yeah.
And a large school. You are the largest campus, is that right, in the Cal State system?
You know, we go back and forth between Northridge, Fullerton, San Diego, and us. So in any one semester, one of us is the biggest.
So
but
each
we're
of
all
those
pretty big.
having the 30,000 bracket dentist students
That's
as
right.
well.
That's right. Yeah, there's
Wow.
over 140, almost 150,000 students in the LA basin, as a matter of fact.
So I'm going to give you like a softball question here.
Oh, good.
And you also have a good
You're
softball team.
You're the only one. And we have a great softball team. We sure do, yeah.
Why would someone choose Long Beach State? What makes it special?
Well, I could talk forever, and I know it's a 10-minute interview, but this is a school that is committed to changing the lives of the students who come. We get smart students. They're the top 3rd in their classes, but they often come from high schools where they've been somewhat underprepared just because of the income level. Many are first in their family to go, probably 40% are first in their family to go to the
That high,
university.
huh?
Yes, 60% are Pell eligible, meaning that their
Right.
family income is low. So they don't come with all the advantages of kids that might go to some more better name, brand name schools. On the other hand, when they leave, their lives have been really tilted in an upward direction. And so, they are transformed by the education. They have a pathway to good
A guy like named
middle-class job.
Spielberg had a pretty good
Like a
education.
Spielberg got
Had
a
a pretty
great
good education
education
at
there.
Long Beach State.
Like Steve Martin got
Yeah.
a pretty good education there. There are many others, yeah.
So you have partnered with the City of Long Beach City College, and the Long Beach Unified School District
Right.
on a program called the Long Beach College Promise.
Yes.
Tell us what it is.
Well, the Long
It's an
Beach
amazing program.
It is an amazing program, and it's unique in the nation. And I wish the people in Long Beach understood how important it is. This goes back a number of years. The new part is the partnership with the city, but the whole purpose of this is to start early, preschool, and make sure that all the adults know what the child needs to know from kindergarten to first, from first to fifth, from fifth to ninth, and that we're all talking to one another. And students who go through the promise, meet the milestones, they can be guaranteed a seat into Long Beach City College with the first semester free, or they can come directly into Long Beach State University and get what we call local preference. So we invite them in because our mission is to work on the economic, civic, aesthetic development of our region, and this is the best way to really add value to the city of Long Beach. The mayor, also our alum, Robert Garcia, has pledged the power of the city, the influence of the city, his voice, to attract resources and attract attention and actually replication of this great program throughout the region.
Well, I think it's a phenomenal program. I've been watching it very closely from the side. I know prior to the City of Long Beach, we used that as sort of our format to move forward to try to bring Salvation Army program to Long Beach with that big center, using the power of this, all the various school systems. Do you still have the valedictorian program?
We do, presidential scholars.
Right.
Yes, so you're a valedictorian or you're a winner of a national merit scholarship or some other prestigious national scholarship. You are invited to apply to be a presidential scholar, which is a fabulous deal. It's tuition is paid, food is paid, housing is paid. So it's a fabulous opportunity for students who have excelled at their high schools.
So you have 30,000 plus students. You've got these kinds of smart kids on campus. You've got a lot of smart kids on campus, but not everyone gets to take advantage of a scholarship. So one of the big stories right now is the debt. You know, student debt
Yes.
nationwide, something like $1 trillion or something like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything being done or any ideas being floated out there to help graduating students sort of deal with that very significant issue so that they can maybe get started with a savings account their first year out of school instead of their 10th year?
The 10th year out of school. Well, first of all, we're proud of many of our rankings. We're ranked very highly nationally, but the one I'm most proud of in this area is that we were recently ranked by U.S. News and World Report as second lowest debt in the nation. Our tuition is very affordable if you make the comparison nationwide, but Californians had with the master plan really a guarantee of practically free tuition. Well, that's gone, but our students, if they're in-state students, pay about $6,500 for the year, the 2 semesters, and then they paid more obviously for the summer, and then you have to add on books and housing and so on and so forth. It's affordable, but remember what I mentioned, that 60% of our kids are coming from Pell eligible families. So this could account for a big bite out of a family income. So we have launched a philanthropic campaign just last week where we're raising money with the top goal in that is what we call increase unparalleled accessibility, meaning, we don't want money to stand in the way of your getting a higher education, because when you complete your degree, you're going to pay taxes, you're going to get a good job, your health is going to be better, you're going to be a better parent. There's a lot of research out there that shows that people who persist through higher ed, in fact, have many positive life goals. So it's good for the city, it's good for the region, it's good for the nation.
All right, so speaking of books, there's been a lot of discussion about, I think they call it MOOCs or MOOCs, the massive open online courses.
Right.
What role do you think online courses are going to play or should play at a school like yours, like Cal State Long Beach?
Our students come very savvy in the digital world. The way I see online courses, we have about 100 online courses now, and we use them so that students are never blocked out of never blocked out of a class. If we don't have room face-to-face, they can take a course online. We have whole programs in our continuing and professional education college that offers to working professionals. They need a certification, they need their skill set uplifted for a particular job, and these are very specific and very responsive to changing industry. So the way I see online is as an adjunct to increasing accessibility, increasing the for working adults as well as our students. I do not see us becoming an online university. Many of our students are in that 18 to 21-year-old category. Many come somewhat underprepared. The research on MOOCs is that almost no one finishes, unless you're already a very high-end student. Adults who are professionals, they finish.
Graduate programs maybe, or is that?
Some graduate programs, or at least parts of graduate programs. What I like are hybrid courses where part of the course is online and part of it is face-to-face. Learners like that best, professors like that best. That could open up a lot of space for us, because then we wouldn't schedule 3 times a week or twice a week. We might schedule twice or once a week, and we could use buildings more efficiently.
Right, and it's also creating more job opportunities for teachers. I mean, I have some friends, their daughter is a teacher, and I said, boy, what a terrible commute. She says, no, I'm not commuting. I'm teaching.
That's right.
I'm teaching the classes online.
Yeah,
so.
I have a sister-in-law who's doing that. And for the right learner and for the right topic, that's perfect. I just think we have to be careful in education not to follow a fad. Technology isn't the answer. Technology is an enabler,
right,
not the answer. And so certain classes are great, and certain parts of classes are great. I can learn a lot by watching. If I'm a dancer, I can learn a lot by watching many tapes of dance, right? But I'm not going to become a great dancer unless I'm there with the expert choreographer.
Well, that staying focused and not changing. Going back to emails or doing something like that. That's got to be the nightmare. I mean, that's everybody's looking down, going like that.
You have to be a very dedicated learner to
100
be
days
successful.
on the job.
Yeah.
Right. What do you envision your priorities moving forward? I know you're sort of just getting your feet down there and things, but Are there some early indicators to you that you think are priorities for you into the future of the great beach?
The great beach. It is a great place. The top priority is for us to get more full-time and tenure-track faculty. Right now, we're practically half and half with full-time and part-time. That's not the way to build a great university, and it's a product of bad economic times when we just filled holes. We were afraid to commit to tenure line or full-time lecturers, so that's the top priority. The second is space. We have tremendous liability in deferred maintenance. Actually our campus has been very well managed, so we're not in as bad a shape as many others, but CSU campuses where there's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of deferred maintenance. But we have to improve the space for our faculty, our students. We have to provide the kinds of learning environments where it's 21st century. Here we are, taping or getting a TV show done. When I say tape, I'm dating myself. But yet I visited our production group the other day. They're getting donations from high schools. They're using cameras that don't do high definition, So we have to keep moving, not just to collect stuff, but to give our students experience.
Have the right infrastructure.
With the right infrastructure, the right equipment, and you know how complicated that is with our seismic needs and
budgetary issues in the state, and putting all the package together.
Yeah.
So you have plenty to do.
I haven't had one boring moment since July 15th. I've been busy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jane Connolly, President, Cal State University, Long Beach. Thank you for being on the show. We
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
When Dennis Walker was in high school, his locker partner, Dave, stole his girlfriend. And Dennis realized Dave was not his friend. When Dennis got satellite, he also got an unreliable signal. And he realized satellite was not his friend. Now he has Charter and a reliable weatherproof signal, just like thousands of others who switch every month. Take it from Dennis. Satellite is not your friend. Get a reliable signal, rain or shine, with Charter.
Thank you again for tuning in to Dialed In. I want to thank my special guest today, Dr. Arturo Delgado and President Jane Connolly, for joining me today. Education is a safety net issue for the residents of Los Angeles County. It gives young people a chance, an opportunity, and the hope for a better life. We have a responsibility to give every child, no matter what their situation, the best education possible. Especially in this day and age, we need to ensure that our schools, whether it's kindergarten, high school, or a university, are preparing our young people for the jobs of tomorrow. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Our local schools and universities, with the help of some outstanding teachers and educators, are empowering our youth to embrace the power of an education. They are the future, and they can change the world. Thank you for tuning in today to another episode of Dialed In. I hope you'll join us next month for an all-new show.